All right, in today's class, we are going to be discussing poetic license and poetic justice. All right, we are going to be discussing poetic license and poetic justice. All right, please, if you are just joining us, please share, like, comment. All right, now let's go. Poetic license and poetic justice, the both of them are both literary devices. Poetic license and justice, the both of them are both literary devices, even though they are different. All right, now poetic license is seen as the freedom or the liberty of a writer to use any choice of word. Poetic license is the freedom or the liberty of a writer to use a choice of word. A writer can choose to use any choice of words in his writing. This freedom is what we in literature refer to as poetic what? Poetic license. A writer can choose to spell woman as W-U-M-A-N as woman. He can choose to spell and misspell. He can choose to use pidgin while writing. That is his poetic license. Poetic license is not what you go to the shop to buy or what you go to a particular office to go and get, just like driver's license. No. Poetic license is in you. The day you pick up your pen and paper to write, that is the day you have this license as a writer. Are we together now? A writer can choose to use any choice of word. A writer can choose to use any language. This particular freedom of a writer is what we refer to as what? As poetic license. All right? That freedom is your license. But take note, while using a poetic license, you must be very, very careful. Ensure that that choice of word tally with your theme or subject matter. If you want to misspell, you should ensure that that spelling tallies with your theme and your subject matter, else it becomes a typographical error or a literary error. Are we together now? Your error or your poetic license must tally with your theme and your subject matter. It must tally with your what? Your theme or your subject matter, else it becomes a literary error. Poetic license is your freedom. Sure that while doing this, you must also what? Consider your theme or your subject matter, else it becomes an error. For instance, the beautiful ones are not yet born. The author Ayikwe Ama spelled the beautiful as B-A-U-T-Y-F-U-L. It's an error, right? Yes. It's his freedom to spell it like that. You know why? Because the author was actually talking about corruption in Ghana. So in order to tell the whole world that even the book that is coming from, even the novel that is coming from Ghana has an error in it. Merely looking at the book, you can tell that there is problem. There is an error in that particular book. So this particular title, this particular error, tallies with the theme of corruption that the author is discussing. That is what we refer to as what? As poetic license. But poetic justice, on the other hand, it is the reward or the outcome of a character's behavior, whether good or bad. Poetic justice is the reward of a character, the outcome, how a character ends, whether good or bad. That is your poetic justice. A good character ends well, while a bad character ends badly. So this reward is what in literature we refer to as poetic what? Poetic justice. Are we together now? Poetic justice is the reward of a character, be it good or what or bad. If you are a good character, you end up well. If you are a bad character, you end up badly. That is poetic justice. Take for instance, if you have read Frank Ogodo Ogbeche's Harvest of Corruption. In Harvest of Corruption, almost everybody that were evil in that story, they all reap the fruit of their evil deeds. So that is their poetic justice. Chief Aladu Ade Amaka was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment with hard labor. Why Justice Odili and the Commissioner of Police, they were sentenced to 15 years imprisonment too. Madam Oya and Agbara Hotel, the Agbara Hotel was closed down and she was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. What about Ayo, the staff at Chief's office who exposed Chief? In the words of the judge, he said, for you to expose crime, I commend you. But for you to collect bribe, I condemn you, so that others can learn. For this reason, I hereby sentence you to 5 years imprisonment. He was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for collecting a bribe of how much? 2,000 naira, even though he was given 1,000 by the police. What is it telling you? It's telling you that a soul that sinneth shall what? Shall die. That is the idea of what? Of poetic justice. The reward of a character's behavior, be it good or bad, is known as poetic justice. While poetic license is your freedom to use any choice of word. Alright? I believe this is helpful. If you are just joining us today, please like, comment and share. It is very important to us. Like, comment and share, or even refer this page to someone, a student who is preparing for exam, be it WAEC, NECO, GCE, JAM, direct entry, IGMB. Alright,